Hello everyone, and welcome back to yet another reaction. So, as I'm sure you've noticed, it has been a few months since I last uploaded. The reason mainly, to be honest, is that I've just found it hard to motivate myself to do the editing. The recording's totally fine. I've got a big list of other songs I want to do, and all that was kind of prepared and good to go. After my last upload, which was the Will Ramos Into the Earth one take reaction, where I had a big disaster. The video didn't record, and I didn't realise until I'd already done a 40-minute recording of the whole song, so it wasn't really a first time reaction. This time I'm recording the video, I'm recording the audio, everything's triple checked, we're all good. But anyway, to get on to today's reaction, I wouldn't really call this a reaction purely because for possibly the first time on this channel, I'm reacting to something that I have both listened to and seen multiple times already. I'm sure anybody that has followed this channel at all knows that I adore Spiritbox. They're probably my favourite band right now, if not up there, but most likely are. And they released a new EP. The EP was called The Fear of Fear. It's 6 songs. The 6 songs are kind of contiguous with each other, forms roughly one coherent story. And all of the songs are absolute bangers. One of the things that I liked that they did with this EP was they kind of covered all of the Spiritbox stuff, whilst also making it a bit new as well. So they had a couple of super heavy songs, you know, Angel Eyes and Cellar Door. They had a few of the more poppy songs. So, well, I suppose they really only had... Yeah, Jaded was kind of like typical Spiritbox, I would say. That was standard, what you would expect from Spiritbox. Void obviously came out and was really good, and that was a bit more upbeat. And then you have Too Close Too Late and Ultraviolet, which are the other 2 songs remaining, and they're a bit more poppy, kind of mellow. They're not mellow because they're still, you know, the instrumentals are still quite heavy, but as far as like the vocals go and the sort of general songs go, they are a bit lighter. Anyway, all that being said, I absolutely adore this EP. I've been listening to it constantly. But since we're just getting back into this, I wanted to cover something that I had already actually listened to, because I know quite a lot of the lyrics. Now, for this song specifically, the one we're covering today, Ultraviolet, which is the closing song on the EP, I know quite a lot of the words. I've seen the music video a couple of times, but I've not like went into it in detail, but I have seen it a couple of times. And I know I've listened to it so much at this point that I think it might be nice to go into the song with some knowledge. And I'm being upfront with that. This isn't going to be a shocked reaction at anything that happens because I know the song. I'm at least looking forward to maybe diving a bit deeper into it that I haven't done in just my kind of casual listening experience. But without any further ado, let's just get going with the video. So just quickly, one of the things I'm going to try and do this reaction is not talk over it. Reason being, I've had a few people in the last few reactions, you know, request that I don't talk through the song, and they're comfortable with me pausing more. Which, to be fair, the reason I talked through the song was because I didn't want to pause too much in case people got annoyed with my constant pausing. But I'm going to try that, right? I'm going to pause every time I want to say something. So without any further ado, let's just get going.
This is the final time I'm waking up inside a dream that doesn't break enough of the soul I once was, in the light I once loved.
So one of the things you notice immediately with this song is the poppiness. You know, what I did when I listened to the EP was all of the music videos were coming out, but I refrained until after the EP was actually released, which to be fair, most of the videos were released after that anyway. But I listened to the EP from start to finish, gapless once. Reason being that that's how Courtney, I believe in a couple of interviews, said that the band intended for the EP to be experienced. It was meant to be kind of one coherent story. I wanted to get that, and obviously what you'd got from listening to Jaded, which was released well before, and even Cellar Door, which was released before as well, was that they clearly led into each other. So, for example, you could tell that Cellar Door led into Jaded because you could hear the intro basically starting for Jaded at the end of that song. So you knew it was going to be an attempt at essentially just a full song, split out into 6 different songs as an album. If that makes sense. So when you're going through this, bearing in mind that this is the final song on the EP, this is actually the most poppy song in my opinion on the EP as well. And you get that immediately. You know, when you get started, there's no heavy instruments, there's not even drums, there's no guitar, there's nothing. It's just kind of synthesized, and then when you get into the vocals, the first part of this verse, it just sounds like a pop song that you would hear on the radio, which Spiritbox, you know, balance that line really well. I know there's a lot of people who aren't too thrilled with the softer stuff like this, which this isn't even a particularly soft song. It's still, you know, it's still rock, metal. It's, to be honest, still metal, but it's at least a bit softer. And given, you know, as of time of recording, just a couple of days ago, Spiritbox released a remix with Megan Thee Stallion, which, you know, is huge for the band and huge for the metal community. And obviously there's a lot of this kind of precedent of rappers doing things with metal bands, but regardless, it's great to see Spiritbox getting that kind of recognition. The only thing is, you know, if you listen to the album from start to finish, obviously I think Cellar Door is the first, because I think it goes Cellar Door, Jaded, Too Close Too Late, Angel Eyes, Void, Ultraviolet. I believe that's the order. So you start with Cellar Door, which is super heavy. But, you know, people listen to things through singles and music videos and that these days. So it's the point of that big tangent is that Spiritbox do balance this line between pop, metal, heavy metal, metalcore, whatever you want to call it, that they do. Gent, it's up to you. The point being is that they balance it, and they don't just stick to the one box. And that's really good for expanding the genre out to new people. It's one of these things that Lorna Shore does a bit from the heavier side, and Sleep Token does a bit from the lighter side, where they just kind of expand the genre out to more people and get them in. Because that's how we all started. You know, my first ever metal song I heard was a Parkway Drive song, and I thought that was way too heavy. And now Parkway Drive is quite chill compared to a lot of the stuff I listen to. So you need something to ease you in there, and I think Spiritbox are brilliant at that. Let's go back a little bit. Will I be able to catch before the verse? I think from here. Yes.
This is the final time I'm waking up inside a dream that does.
And one of the other things about the lyric, you know, this is the final time I'm waking up. This is a recurring theme throughout the whole EP. There's a couple of recurring themes: waking up, Crimson Key, mirrors. I think is quite, like, reflections are quite a common theme throughout a lot of the songs. And general just kind of introspection, I feel, is a lot of the theme. So it's nice to kind of open the song with "This is the final time I'm waking up," knowing it's the last song in the album.
Breaking off of the soul I once was. In the light I once loved. I can see it shining through the trees.
Sorry, I know I keep pausing. But as I said, I would rather pause than talk over it. But we'll try and keep the intermissions a bit shorter. I won't ramble too much. But one of the things I like about the production of the music video is, again, I literally just mentioned the theming of, you know, introspection, reflection, mirrors, that sort of thing, opening doors, closing doors, all that sort of stuff. General kind of metaphors that you use for often mental health, finding yourself emotionally, that sort of thing. All these different things culminate in this song and this video, and they have to, because it's the final one. And so you've got, you know, she's in a room that's pretty derelict. This looks like it's probably just a warehouse somewhere, but whether this is meant to be, you know, a representation of the internals of whether it's the band or a member of the band, Courtney herself or if it's meant to be like a character. Not sure, but a lot of this is quite metaphorical, and this also reflects into her costume itself, which you can see is, it's, I don't know what material that would be. I don't know if it would just be glass or if it would be like the type of glass you use for mirrors, reflective glass, that sort of thing. But obviously it's meant to give off all this reflection, and you're seeing as the different bits of light hit her, it's reflecting off in fun, colourful ways. Again, it's just all feeding into that idea of reflection. And I don't know if you can see my mouse here, see this here? This kind of looks like it's a broken mirror. I'm not sure if it is, but it kind of looks like a broken mirror. And again, it's a lot of that derelict falling apart while trying to reflect kind of imagery. I like that.
A reflection of the crimson key, and hesitate to feel something in the presence of a cold emotional vampire, invited inside. I dream I die.
One thing I want to say about this wee section here, first off, I love the wide shot, just kind of getting everything into view. You can see there's a lot of lights, a lot of like kind of broken down equipment, that sort of thing. But one thing I hear, and it's a bit hard to tell if this is what I'm hearing, but obviously in a lot of Spiritbox songs they do a lot of layering. I mean, a lot of people do layering in music, but I find it more noticeable in Spiritbox songs specifically because it's the same voice. It's always Courtney's voice, and she's usually doing like a clean lead with a heavy backing, or a clean lead with a clean backing, heavy lead with heavy backing, whatever. But it's quite distinct, I would say. One of the things I think I hear here, great sentence, is essentially a bit of a whisper. So it sounds like the lead is kind of meant to be back here, which is fine, and it takes up most of the soundscape because again, this has just been like a synthesizer and the vocals. So far, we're about to get into the heavier section, but it sounds like just here in the right hand side. I don't know if it's her breathing, but it sounds like just kind of a whisper. It sounds almost like the layered vocal is just a whisper in the background. And I find that really interesting because I don't think I've heard that before in a Spiritbox song. I could be wrong. I guess I've not really listened for it. But we'll go back and we'll try and catch that just in the right ear here. Yeah, it's a bit unclear if it's just part of the lead and kind of the breathiness that's been intentionally put on there for effect, or if it's an actual whisper layered on. Either way, I like the effect that it's given it because it sounds like, somebody kind of whispering from behind you, that kind of spooky vibe, which is a lot of this EP is gone for. If you listen through it, going for quite a kind of spooky, I guess, vibe, best word for it. We'll keep going. Again, the glitter coming down. So another thing you notice with this music video, if we go back, I can't tell if it's like edited or if it's Courtney's dancing or if it's both, but they've been playing with speed quite a bit. So near the beginning, our movements were quite jolted and very, very like unnaturally not smooth, jagged, I suppose you would say. And yeah, it gave the impression of it being sped up. I think it was probably sped up a little bit, but now as you're easing into the chorus section, it looks like it's in a bit more slow motion, which it isn't. It doesn't look like it's particularly edited slow motion. If it is, it's a very small amount. But one of the things that I do like about that is the way that the dancing is flowing with the song. So you've got the kind of sped up type bits, jagged at the beginning, and then as we get into the chorus, it comes a bit smoother, it's a bit slower, and it almost feels like a release. Even though, you know, as we progress with this, we'll see it's maybe a bit spookier. I am a bit concerned about the fact my recording's almost 20 minutes in and we're only a minute in, so we will try keep it going.
Cover me in ultraviolet to a river flowing back in time. Dream I die, dream I die.
Oh, there they are.
We can burn into the velvet sky. Dream I die, dream I die.
See, and one of the things you notice there, as I just talked about, is the way that they play with the speed of the video. So we started off almost in kind of slower motion, you know, moving around in a circle. As you complete that first rotation, you see the first person appear, and then obviously more of the people appear as you kind of go around. And it was unexpected initially because, you know, it's a softer song. You don't expect it to be kind of horror themed, but a lot of the album has been horror themed. One of the things I like is as she continues to circle, obviously the people that are around her, the dancers, are a bit more jagged, and she starts to match them. So she starts to match the jaggedness and speed up, even though the music isn't actually changing throughout the chorus. It's still soft and slow, but you can see her speeding up a little bit. If I just go back about 10 seconds, you should 15 seconds, you should see as she goes round, it gets faster and she gets more jagged again. I think the camera might zoom out a bit. I'm not sure.
We can burn into the velvet sky.
See it a bit more. We're rotating faster.
Dream I die.
And that lends even more to the kind of unnatural feeling that you're getting from the music video, which is, you know, adding to the music. Because if you just sat and listened to this song, which I did on my first listen, you wouldn't have got this vibe from it at all. At least I didn't. And then they went in with like a full kind of horror vibe, you know, in an abandoned warehouse with some weird people doing some unnatural dancing around you. It's pretty creepy. So yeah, that's something that I really like, is adding some flavour to the music by, you know, making the video into its own and making it feel like it's adding something. You know, a lot of music videos, I've said in the past, a lot of music videos can just be bands kind of playing, and that's fine. But I feel like a lot of these music videos, they've been trying to tell the story, but they've also been actually additive to the meanings and the feeling of the song. Because when you just listen to it, you don't get this kind of horror feel that you obviously get with the music video. Let's keep going. We can do this.
I can feel the end is haunting me. Mirror image staring back into 1,000 lifetimes. Fearing what the light finds. I can see it shining through the trees.
I also like that, you know, now we're into the second verse. They've brought in the instruments, not only for, you know, a general escalation of tension and stakes, essentially, as you go through the song, but also because it's like the intro was almost a sort of, I don't know, not a denial, but in a sense, a denial of the kind of reality of the situation, which, of course, most of it is metaphorical. As it's almost like the first chorus broke that seal, brought the instruments in, brought the people in, and then throughout the rest of the music video, those people don't leave. You know, the extra dancers don't leave. They continue to add to it. And you'll notice the instruments actually get heavier. So there was no instruments present in the first verse. The instruments came in kind of standard in the chorus. And then the guitar is still here, the drums is still here, the bass is still here in the new verse, in the second verse. and then obviously you're going to get to later on in the song where there's like a breakdown and things. But I really like that escalation of tension that they're pulling throughout it. I also quite liked, I don't know if you saw, as she was walking away, she was doing like kind of one of those confident struts that people will often do, and it gave me a feeling of like you're realizing you're surrounded by your problems, and you're like, I'm just gonna go at this with unabashed confidence, and see what happens. And then as the music video goes on, it kind of gets a bit more distressing. But I don't know if that's what they were intending with this section, but that's what I got from it was, the idea of trying to confidently walk away from your problems, assuming that will just solve everything, but then they come back to get you. There he goes. There's the Crimson Key. And you'll notice for that section, again, it's sped up a bit as the camera zoomed out. Again, just playing with that sense of time and perspective and really making it feel unnatural. Also really like the red light just seeping in from that door in the back right there. And also the sheer difference in the lighting between, the front side and the back side. The front side was obviously a bit brighter, a bit more, again, kind of feeling that denial idea at the beginning of the song of everything's fine, look, it's nice and bright over here. And then you come to here, everything's kind of even more fallen over, a bit derelict. The lighting's all messed up, it's all over the place, and everything just feels more wrong. And, as you were going through the words of that verse, we'll come back and catch it again. So like that bit there, I hesitate to feel something because I don't belong here. Again, it feels like she's realizing that you can't just pretend it's all okay, and then is starting to almost panic a little bit as everything comes into view, and it becomes clear that things aren't as positive as the front you tried to put on. I will say, I don't actually know the explicit intended meaning of the song. I don't know if she's talked about it yet, of the album as a whole. I do think it's interesting that this is the final song, and it feels like this is where the panic is setting in. I feel like, yeah, it's interesting. Let's keep going. And see what I mean? They confidently walked away, they were gone, and then the camera turns to kind of reveal the darkness and the disheveledness of the other side of the warehouse here. And as soon as the chorus kicked in, right on Dream I Die, they run back in and start pulling and grabbing at her, which is obviously very different to how the song started, the music video started. And so that's where I'm getting that kind of feeling, along with the lyrics, of pretending to ignore your problems and it not going very well, shall we say. One thing I do want to just say, and I'm going to go back a little bit, because I feel like I've talked a lot about the music video. I've not talked as much about the vocals. I think the thing with the vocals is I don't want to say nothing special, because that, I think, implies the wrong thing that I'm trying to get at with this song. Because this is my favourite song off the EP. I adore this song. I can listen to endlessly. I love the vocals. But when I say nothing special, what I'm basically trying to say is that, there's nothing exceedingly remarkable going on in terms of there's nothing new that I haven't heard already from Courtney's vocals in this song specifically. Her voice sounds fantastic. It's very strong. comes out beautifully, and it adds to the kind of feel that you're getting for the song. But like again, I think that is beneficial almost for this song, which feels like the kind of one that could get played on the radio, that somebody could hear on the radio and be like, hey, that sounds really good, let me go and listen to that band. And then like 2 weeks later, you know, they're listening to Angel Eyes on repeat and they're just fully immersed in heavy music. So I do like that choice for this song. But the reason I paused, one of the things I want to mention is because again, I haven't talked about the instruments much either. And there's an absolutely gorgeous guitar riff going on at the top of this chorus. And I think it was in the first chorus as well, because obviously you've got the heavy, not heavy, but you've got the front facing guitar, which is just the kind of rhythm stuff. You've got the drums going on, you've got the vocals, but there's like a little guitar that you can hear up the top that's just kind of doing like, I can't even sing it, but it's like just right up there. Maybe not that fast, but it is kind of right up there doing that thing. Absolutely love it. You'll hear it when I play again. So you hear it in this section, so I just went back a bit too far. You hear it in this section, as soon as she says Dream I Die, you hear it up the top. I've done the YouTube reactor thing where I pause. The thing is, I'm not even gonna excuse this time because I know how the song goes. So I know exactly when the music changes are. But what that means is they're perfect stopping points. But one of the things I like about, again, this part of the music video is, if we go back here, this crawling through things has been a theme of the EP since kind of the first teasing. This theme of kind of crawling through, it's in one of the other music videos as well. It might be Cellar Door, I think. Yeah, she does this crawling through the wires, through the cables in Cellar Door. It's just, yeah, a recurring theme throughout EP. Do I know what it means? No, of course not. I'm useless at that sort of thing. I'm not, I do my best at critical interpretation, but if you don't know, you don't know. But it has been a sort of theme going throughout the EP of this crawling. Let us keep going into the breakdown. Again, this kind of breakdown at the end feels almost like a radio-friendly breakdown, because there's still the kind of lighter vocals, there's still the kind of lighter synthesizers going on, and I absolutely love that. I really do think this song especially could bring a lot of people in to Spiritbox as a whole. And I would love that because I love Spiritbox, and if the more popular they are, the more tours they can do, the more music they can make. It's just better for me, I do like this kind of wee section where the lights are all flashing and they're all doing their dancing, and Courtney's just gone off screen. So, they were pulling at her, and she was trying to escape. She fell to the ground, she was crawling. Again, they were pulling back at her, and now it's like they're sort of taking over. So the breakdown's going on, she's kind of away off screen somewhere, and they've essentially taken over and are wreaking havoc. So let's just go through this again, probably go to the end of the song. Sorry again. I know I said go at the end of the song, then pause 3 seconds later. They also again are doing the time manipulation that they've been doing for the whole thing so far. So they're going slow, and then they speed up, and then they slow down again, and then they speed up. And I think it's a mixture of both the dancers and editing. And I think it's been a mixture throughout, and that almost feels like that plays into the theme where you don't know, is it the dancers that are doing it? Is it the editors that are speeding things up and slowing down? Is it both? When is it the dancers doing weird movements, which dancers are really good at doing that sort of thing? And when is the editors kind of artificially speeding it up and down? And it just really adds to that extra sense of unease of you can't follow and grasp onto the video, you know? So the reason I held on that, and if we go back a little bit here, first off, I love that they do. Obviously, they've got the outro to the song, but they do just hold on her kind of lying there, and you can see all the stuff reflecting off her. All the stuff, the light tends to reflect like that. All of the light reflecting off of her, and I do just kind of like that image. The TVs are now broken. I don't believe that TV was broken at the beginning. See this one here? Let's check actually. Oh no, it was okay. Never mind. But I guess you get the implication of, you know, some sort of almost a time loop here, and a time loop in the sense of, you know, you wake up, you've got some sort of kind of mental ailment, you fight it, and you have good days, you have bad days, but you fight it, you get tired, and then you go to sleep, and then you do it all again the next day. And it can feel like that with mental health issues. And again, I get that kind of metaphorical feel from it, where it's trying to represent this is almost the mental battle against the things that are just following you no matter what. You sometimes get brief respites, but they come back for you, and then you just kind of wake up and do it again. One of the things I just love about this is the feeling of it essentially returning back to the start, and in a loop and kind of doing it all again. I really like that idea for the song. The ending it's funny, the ending always reminds me of the intro to Cellar Door, despite the fact that when I go back and listen to the intro to Cellar Door, it doesn't sound like this. So if I let this play, you hear the kind of, it's almost a reversed glass smashing sound. It always feels like it leads into Cellar Door again, and it feels like Cellar Door could pick up directly from there, which again adds to that whole idea of being in a loop essentially with the whole EP, and kind of waking up and doing it all again, and then saying this is the final time waking up, but it's not. You keep going. You just keep going. But yeah, I absolutely love this song. I love listening to it. The music video is fantastic. It feels quite simple, but one thing that you kind of forget about as you're going through is that it's a single take. There's no cuts, because you know you're here, you're following Courtney, you come here, and then you spin with her, and then you pull out from her, and then you follow her as she walks around to the back, and then again you do a little bit of a spin, you come out, you go into the chorus, you follow her, she pulls out of the way, and then the dancers are there, and then it just zooms round, and she's there right back where she was at the beginning, and it's a single take the whole way around, and I absolutely love that. Between that, mixed with the messing with the speed of the reality within this music video, you know, going faster, going slower, going normal, then going fast and slow again, and then fast again, then normal, and just kind of jumping around. you're never quite able to settle. And the music video version almost does give a completely different feel to just listening to it, because you can really settle. If you are just hearing this and just listening to this, you will settle into it. It sounds fantastic. It's absolutely gorgeous. Loved listening to it over and over. Vocals are brilliant. The instrumentals and the synth work is brilliant. You know, to really make it still feel Spiritbox, even though it feels like it could be played on the radio. It feels like a lot of people who aren't into metal could get into this song. It still feels Spiritbox, and a lot of their songs do this, where they still have that kind of quintessential Spiritbox feel to them, despite kind of jumping between genres sometimes. But the music video version gives it just a completely different feel. It's almost like a a part two essentially of the same song. But anyway, yes, I appreciate that maybe I didn't do as much analysis in these as I normally do, and obviously, I mean, I say that we're 43 minutes into my recording, so I can't really say I did no analysis, but I felt like I didn't maybe dive into the vocals and the guitar in that as much. But that's mainly because this song comes in the context of the EP, and it's also one I've listened to before. And I just kind of wanted to try this. One, because I've been asking for new Spiritbox music for a long time, and then when it comes, I stopped doing reaction videos. So I listened to them, and then I'm like, well, I can't react to these anymore. So I wanted to at least do one. But you can let me know in the comments if you like this style of, listening to music that I already know and sort of giving a more informed take based on having already listened to it, having already kind of got into it, that sort of thing. Please let me know what else you would like to see. If you would like to see other of the Spiritbox songs from the EP, or if there's any other bands you would like me to cover and look at. I do want to do more first time reactions, but I just wanted to start back into it by doing, a song I already listened to, a song I love by a band I love. So thank you all for being here and, sticking around after me being gone for a few months. And I promise I'll try and ease back into it so I don't burn myself out again. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye bye.